They say you never really know someone until you live with them. I used to laugh at that. Now, I don't. Because the girl I invited into my home didn't just move into my space, she tried to move into my life. This isn't a story about violence or chaos. It's about quiet destruction. About how someone can study you, mimic you, and slowly erase you all while smiling in your face. When I first met Nora, she was standing outside my apartment building with 2 boxes and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She'd just been kicked out by her ex, or so she said, and needed a place to stay. I had a spare room and a soft heart. At the time, I was doing well for myself. A stable job, a cozy apartment, a few friends I trusted. I liked my peace. Maybe that's why I said yes. Because she looked like chaos disguised as vulnerability. The first few weeks were fine. She was polite, quiet, and always offered to help. She'd make coffee in the mornings and wait for me to get home before starting dinner. She said she wanted to pull her weight. It sounded nice, maybe too nice. Then small things started to shift.
This is Revenge by Fancy Home of Betrayal, Heartbreak, and Ultimate Payback. Subscribe and join a community that knows karma never forgets.
Her laugh sounded more like mine. She began borrowing my clothes without asking, first a t-shirt, then my favorite coat. Her hair changed too, same color, same cut. At first, I thought it was flattery. But imitation can be a kind of hunger. One night, I overheard her on the phone. She was telling someone, I finally found the kind of life I want. It's calm. Stable. She's got everything together. Then she laughed. And for the first time, I heard envy in her voice. From that night, I started watching her more closely. Her eyes lingered too long on my laptop screen when I worked. She asked strange questions about my passwords, my boss, my family. Once, I came home early and found her sitting on my bed, scrolling through my phone. She said, "Oh, I thought it was mine." But her face told the truth, she didn't think that at all. The air in the apartment changed after that. She began inserting herself into every part of my life. She'd volunteer to run errands for me, then accidentally run into my friends. Soon she was hanging out with them, without me. When they invited me, she'd already be there, smiling like she belonged more than I did. Then it got darker. My boss started acting strange, cold, distant. Emails I never saw had been sent from my account, rude, defensive, out of character. I confronted Nora about it, jokingly, and she said, "Maybe someone hacked you. You should be more careful." Her tone was light, but her eyes were daring me to accuse her. So I did what she didn't expect, I went silent. No confrontation. No reaction. Just quiet. I started logging everything. Emails. Messages. Screenshots. And I changed my passwords. The ones she thought she knew. A week later, she tried to log into my account again. I got the alert. I didn't tell her. I just watched. She began unraveling slowly. When she realized she no longer had access to my life, she became desperate. She'd knock on my door late at night asking if I was mad at her. She'd cry about how people always leave her. I comforted her on the surface. But inside, I was documenting everything. Then came the breaking point. My boss called me into his office one morning and said, "We received an anonymous report that you've been stealing company data." I froze. He showed me screenshots, fake messages, fake documents all tied to my name. But I recognized something. A watermark. A small, faint one. It was mine. Nora had taken screenshots of my work and altered them. But she'd missed that one tiny watermark in the corner. Proof that it was my file. Proof that it was sabotage. That night, I went home and waited. She came in late, humming, pretending nothing had happened. I told her about the accusation and how I'd cleared my name. Her smile faltered. She said, "That's good." I said, "Yeah. I even found out who reported me." Her hands shook. She said, "Who?" I looked her straight in the eye and said, "You should really be more careful with metadata." She froze. Then she laughed, that high, nervous laugh that gives away guilt. "Are you accusing me?" she said. I didn't answer. I just stood, handed her a folder of printed screenshots, her fake emails, her fake complaints, her own messages. I said, "You can pack tonight. You're leaving tomorrow." She stared at me for a long time before whispering, "You'll regret this." I said, "No. You will." She left before sunrise. The apartment was quiet again, but not peaceful, not yet. It took weeks to scrub the traces of her out of my life. Then, 3 months later, karma did what I didn't have to. A company reached out to me about a freelancer who had applied for a job using my old projects. They sent me the name. It was Nora. She had stolen my portfolio. But the files contained my metadata, my timestamps, and my copyright. I sent them proof. They blacklisted her from every agency in the network. I didn't gloat. I didn't post. I just closed my laptop and exhaled. That was the day I learned something most people never do: you don't always have to fight back. Sometimes, you just have to let people trip over the traps they set for you. Years passed. I moved to another city, started my own business, built a quiet, solid life again. And then, last winter, I saw her. It was in a cafe near my office. She looked different, older, heavier, with something invisible. She didn't see me. But when she reached for her wallet, I noticed the same bracelet I'd once lent her, the one she'd lost. Still pretending. Still performing. I left without saying a word. Because sometimes, silence isn't weakness. It's a verdict. They say revenge is best served cold. But mine wasn't cold, it was calm. No screaming. No fighting. Just evidence, patience, and time. The universe has perfect timing. You just have to be quiet enough to let it work. So, if someone ever tries to take your peace, your place, your identity, don't panic. Just protect your truth, and wait. They'll destroy themselves trying to destroy you.